Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecca. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show that we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms as well as to Facebook and YouTube. So if you're joining us from either of those places, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment. Hopefully I'll be able to go through everything as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end, see if I can answer anything individually for you. But let's get started here with a look at our headlines. Well, right now we've seen that increase in cloud cover. We have those frontal boundaries still hanging off to our west, and that still brings in that potential to push in a couple of those light snow showers here overnight tonight. Not expecting much of an impact out of that, but another quick dusting to maybe a half inch in some spots is possible by the time you wake up early tomorrow morning, but not expecting much of an impact on road conditions. And then looking ahead to tomorrow, we finally warm back up above freezing after over a week of spending temperatures below freezing, which is very rare for us here in the tri-state. And then it looks like it's going to be followed up by that chance for some rain and snow showers or a wintry mix moving in through Tuesday, which we have that alert in effect for. But let's start off with a look at some statistics. I was showing this on 14 News at 5, but today, or at least the National Weather Service, they kind of measure the snowpack every single day, multiple times a day. And today was the 8th day in a row where the snowpack, specifically at the Evansville Airport, was above or equal to 7 inches. So for the last 8 days, that has been a very solid snowpack, and that actually makes it the third longest stretch of snowpack that we've had in history. Only first and second place were back in 1977 and 78, I believe, or 78 and 79. Those were first and second place. So this winter, still making history here a week later, even after that storm passed last weekend. But taking a look at the Doppler radar and what's going on out there across the country currently, not a whole lot going on right now. We had that big nor'easter that was bringing heavy snow to areas of the Carolinas and the mid-Atlantic yesterday, brought historic snowfall to areas that never ever see it. And then really the only thing that's happening here in the country is what's going on over the Ohio River Valley right now, which is those frontal boundaries that are sliding through. And taking a look at our Doppler radar, you can see it's producing this very thin band of some light snow showers that are just trying to move in from the west. A lot of it is kind of getting eaten up by some drier air we have at the surface, but this will continue to slowly drift in from the west and then kind of dissipate here overnight tonight. But that's where we could see that potential for a quick dusting to a half an inch in some spots. A lot of the models aren't even picking up on it here. It just shows it as some cloud cover, but obviously we can see it on radar that there is in fact some snow showers involved with that. But again, in terms of accumulation, not expecting much, perhaps a dusting to a half inch in some spots, not even really registering on any of our model data there. But looking at the forecast tonight, we'll see temperatures drop back down into the mid to upper teens. Cloudy skies, winds will come out of the south between 3 to 5 miles per hour, and it's that southerly direction that's going to help warm us back up through tomorrow. Temperatures get back up above freezing, topping out in the mid 30s tomorrow afternoon with partly cloudy skies. And looking ahead there to our next best chance of precipitation, that's going to be followed up quickly there on Tuesday with that chance for some rain and snow or a wintry mix. So we still have that alert in effect. Again, this isn't a major snowstorm. It's not a major ice storm, but it is going to produce enough to where I still think we could have some slick spots and maybe some travel could be a bit slick in a few areas. But it looks like we'll have some rain and snow showers, perhaps even the chance for a light glazing of ice. And I'll break down all those details for you right here. I'll take you through a couple of models. A lot of the models are showing several different solutions still at this time. So some still show that warmer solution with rain mostly across the tri-state. Others show a snowier solution with maybe even an inch or two of snowfall across portions of the tri-state, and others kind of show something in between. So consensus still not really nailed down at this point, but hopefully this kind of gets into clearer view by the time we get into tomorrow. But regardless, not expecting this to be a major thing, but just more of another nuisance and kind of another hassle that we have to get through on Tuesday. But here's a look at our graph model. Tuesday morning, it wants to send those snow showers well to our north, and it kind of wants to bring mostly rain to start across the tri-state, and then those snow and rain showers kind of stay to our north, or at least the snow showers do, north of I-64, with mostly rain south of I-64. I-64 there. In that case, we really wouldn't have much of a problem. However, some models still put out that chance for wintry precipitation. This model in particular doesn't really show much of a colder solution. It shows we have that potential for maybe a dusting to a ½ inch of snow accumulation north of I-64. Ice amounts, again, of light glaze or patchy ice is possible with some of these systems as they move through, but again, not expecting a whole lot, but that could just be enough to where we see some slick spots. So that's why we have that alert still in effect. Now, this other model that I'm showing you, a little bit colder, a little bit snowier in its solution. It brings in that chance for snow and maybe even some freezing drizzle at first before we see that rain take over, and then it transitions back over to the chance for some wintry mix and then some snow from north to south before it tapers off there Tuesday evening. And this model produces a little bit of a snowier solution, still showing the best chances for accumulations mainly north of the Ohio River and primarily north of I-64 at that point, looking at around maybe 1 close to 2 inches in maybe a few spots. And it's ice still showing very light patchy glaze possible with this system. So again, nothing here is looking major. So that is kind of the point I wanted to get across, but it's still enough to cause some slick spots, especially for that commute Tuesday evening. So we continue to have that alert there, rain and snow showers pretty much through Tuesday morning and into Tuesday afternoon, and then it should clear out of here by the time we get into Tuesday evening. Slick roads is the primary hazard. Very light accumulations are possible at this time. But there's a look at your 7-day forecast for you. Let me go ahead and take a look at some of those comments, see if I can answer anything. Good evening, Lenny, he's saying. Good evening to you, Cheyenne. Suzanne says, hello, it sure is cold out there. That kind of snowstorm, will it be just one time, or do you think it's going to be more and more in the future? I'm assuming you're talking about this snowstorm that we just had last weekend. Well, certainly can't rule it out. I mean, we do still get some big snowstorms every once in a while here in the tri-state. Honestly, we've been due for one for quite some time. So yeah, I would expect still maybe some bigger snows in the future. Can I guarantee that this winter? No, but definitely in the future. Jeanette Rice says good evening. Jimmy says howdy, howdy. Okay, we will all hang in there for a little more, but the groundhog better predict spring, says Linda. I'm with you. You know, Groundhog Day is tomorrow, and, you know, he's got a lot of pressure on him to make sure he gets his forecast right, because I don't know how much more of this winter I can take. It's cold out there, and it's snowy, and it just never stops. This is like a true, you know, northern winter here in the tri-state, something that we're not used to, something that I tried to move away from when I came here from Maine, but it seems to have followed me. But I do have some light at the end of the tunnel here. You know, we warm up for Monday. We will get some melting in there. We've got that chance for some wintry precip here, but again, nothing major, just enough to cause some slick spots. And then we drop back below freezing for Wednesday into Thursday. But then we pop well back up. And this is actually closer to average. This is the closest we've been to our average temperatures for the last several weeks. We may be topping out in the 40s by Friday, and then possibly still, by the time we get into next weekend, Sunday, looks like we could see 43 degrees. That would be really nice. That's pretty much short sleeves, bathing suit weather at this point. We've been dealing with temperatures in the 20s, teens, and single digits with wind chill values below zero for, you know, at least the last week. So we definitely need some of this warmer air to move in, and hopefully it brightens up everybody's spirits, because I'm sure after this week we've all just been kind of stuck inside looking at the same snow for the last week and a half, and it's just not going away anytime soon. But hopefully that snowpack will melt away some through tomorrow, and then maybe even with some of that rain we could get on Tuesday, that could help melt it away as well. But that's kind of the gist on the forecast here for the next 7 days. Let me go ahead and take a look at the comments just one more time, see if you guys have any more questions for me. I'm happy to answer them for you. Drew Rapp says it could snow as late as March. Yeah, that is true. Hopefully we don't see that happen, but certainly possible. March is always that wild card month where it's like you could really end up on the warmer side and spring is here and winter is in the rearview mirror, but sometimes March can produce some of the biggest snows for a lot of the country sometimes. So still something we got to keep an eye out for. Winter is not over yet, but we are getting closer and closer to the end. Fun fact, while astronomical spring might not be for another month and a half, meteorological spring is in the next 28 days. So that starts March 1st. So if you want something to look forward to, that's what you got. Looks like we've got a couple of more questions. Donna says her 18-year-old fur baby and I are tired of snow. I'm there with you. Sherry asks, when can we wash our cars? Well, I think, Wednesday and Thursday is going to be dry. It is going to be cold out there. Maybe next weekend looks like a good bet. It'll be warmer and dry at this time. Looks like next weekend would be the best time to do anything outside by then. Brandon says, don't put that March snow voodoo on us. I'm not. I swear, I'm doing the opposite. Do you see the models changing a lot between now and Tuesday? Yes and no. I don't think it's going to change in the broad spectrum of what we expect. I think we're going to see rain and snow showers across the tri-state, but what could shift here is where exactly the placement of that rain or snow is. It seems pretty good that we're going to get some snow, at least north of the Ohio River, primarily along and north of I-64, with mostly rain to the south, but it's kind of that area right along the Ohio River, that precipitation type is kind of the most uncertain at this time. So that is kind of what the situation on the models are currently. Oh, Sharon says, my son said, bring the snow on. He doesn't want to go back to school. Well, I know schools, at least Evansville, Vanderburgh School District is closed tomorrow. So, that's a plus for the kids, maybe not so much for the parents. But Vanessa says, bring on the snow. So it looks like we still got an even battle between the snow haters and the snow lovers. Personally, I'm on the snow hater team. But you know what? We got to take it in strides here. Like I said, we are close, or at least there is some light at the end of the tunnel. We are in February now. The darkest, weeks of winter are kind of behind us, and we should start seeing, better improvements forward. But still plenty of winter to go, so can't rule out more snow and more cold. But that's all I've got here for this, streaming show. So I'm going to hop off of our live. I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10, which is actually going to be airing at 11. We've got basketball on tonight, so a little bit later this evening. Hopefully you can still join us. But until then, everybody, stay safe, have a great rest of your night, and stay warm.